analyzer. All right, and this is kind of the steps, the deal analysis steps. Okay, step one is you need to put your inputs in. Your inputs are going to be these, right? This is your inputs right here. Okay, you're gonna have to put your inputs in so that you can look at your, you can evaluate your deal. And these are the inputs. Now you know what you need to get from the owners or whenever. Now, if you go to a broker, if you go to a realtor and you get the information from the realtor, you're going to have to extract this information from what they give you, right? So they're going to give you hopefully they'll give you a P&L and a balance sheet, tax returns, a unit mix, or rent roll, whatever they're going to give you, and then you're going to have to extract that number from that information. And then you're going to put it into your deal analyzer, whichever deal analyzer you use, whether it's mine or somebody else's. All right. And so that time that it takes to extract that information is a lot, right? So just know that you got to give yourself some time to find this information so that you can put the inputs in. All right. That's why I like to talk to the owners first. I mean, essentially our process is like talk to the owner and get the information from them. We really only ask them for this much information. And then what we do is like, we just ask them, just like, in the scripts that we talked about, right? The script on how do you get the purchase price is like, you say, look, I need to know if you've had an offer before. Have you rejected any offers? What number are you thinking? Tell me this number, right? So that's one of your scripts. The second script that you're going to ask them is, okay, so you've given me all this information here. Can you prove this to me? That's the question. Are you going to be able to give me a P&L and a balance sheet and tax return so I can take that information and go to the bank? Like I just had a Zoom call with an owner last Friday, and I was like the two owners, they're partners. It was a deal in Wisconsin. It was like for one of my students. And they said, and they'd given us all the information. The deal looked really good. And I said, okay, can you prove this numbers? He said, yeah, we can give you a P&L. We can give you a balance sheet. We can get anything you want. And so they're working on getting all that information because obviously it takes time to do that. But, another thing too, is like when you're going directly to the owner and you're asking for this stuff, like you don't want to ask them for a P&L and a balance sheet. Like that, like they're like in their mind, they're not even thinking they want to sell. And all of a sudden you want to give them an offer and you're asking for all this personal information. And a lot of owners too, like when we talk to the owners, we say, they'll say like, I don't want to give you that information unless you come down here and meet me. If you come here and meet me, I'll show you everything that you want. Right. And so that's kind of like that happens actually quite often. So you just have to know that, those types of owners, those are the types of owners they want to know, like, and trust you. You got to get down there and you got to charm those people. Right. So there's all different kinds, there's different types of owners, and every owner is completely different. And you got to really kind of, when you're talking to them, you got to get a feel for like, what type of an owner they are. So how to talk to them. Okay. So the first step is deal analysis. You're going to get all this information so we can input it into the deal analyzer, right? And your inputs, the second step is in the inputs is filling out the unit mix, right? You got to get all that unit mix in. And we have one, actually the one that I'm going to show you, they have like a ridiculous amount of sizes. I mean, it's like 20 different sizes. All right, so you got to sit there and input all this in. When you input all the unit mix in with the with the price and the vacancies and the numbers and the sizes and all this kind of stuff. So this just takes a little bit of time. So you're going to input all the information in. You're going to put the deal. You're going to put the unit mix in. You're going to the next step is competition. Right? You're going to look at the competition. You got to do a competitive analysis. All right. What are all the competitors charging? And you need to compare apples to apples. If they have only 20 by 10s and you have 10 by 10s and 10 by 15s, this is not a competition, right? Competition is like, what are all the competitors that have 10 by 10s and 10 by 15s doing, right? So, when we do our competitive analysis, it's apples to apples. That's what it is. You want to keep that in mind as well too. So and then you need like a minimum of 3 or 4 competitors, right? But also at the same time, you want to respect which market that you're in, right? Right. Remember that you have primary, secondary, and then tertiary. Right? A primary market is like less than 1 mile. Is that greater or less than? That's greater. Okay. And then this one is 1 mile, and then this one's like 3 miles. And then this one is this one way. This one is 10 miles. Okay, so 1, 3, 10 miles, right? So your competitors need to be in like these ranges, right? You don't want to have like a competitor that's like 10 miles away if you're in like a primary market. I mean, that's not a competitor, right? So, and this right here, this section of the DIL analysis is like the most important, because this is what's going to determine what your opportunity is going to be. Right? This is what's going to determine, is there an opportunity inside this deal? Okay. So that's why that's super important. That's competitive analysis.